Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hollywood Matt Connolly with the double biceps. It is in the contract a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. Just making sure the lawyers are happy. The box has been ticked. Everyone has seen two biceps. Definitely, there was one right there, and there was the other one. It's not something that I made up to show off my biceps. Definitely nothing like that whatsoever. It was in the fine print. It was really small. I didn't see it. But here we are, and we're here to talk about some wrestling. Wrist wrestling, as I believe it used to be called. We've got a few people in the comments already, which is fantastic to see. We've got James Gillenwater. Great to see you in here. We've got the USS Liberty, never forget. Right on time in Australia. It is indeed. It is 11 o'clock Friday morning here in Adelaide. And the Drew, 2 minutes late. Come on, mate. I just wanted to make sure everything was set. I was actually setting up that thing. The 300 Spartan, I was like, I had this space right here. And I was like, where I'm sitting, I can't get further across. My desk is in the way. And I was like, that space looks empty. I need to put something there. And I was like, well, what have I got? And I was looking, and I was like, Leonidas, of course. Why wouldn't you want to have the legendary Spartan warrior standing right behind you threateningly with blood and a sword? You know, it's sort of like, if you're going to stuff up this podcast, he's right there to take you out. So, I've just put that extra pressure on myself. Rickard Bornman, biceps getting bigger day by day. Oh, thank you, sir. And your strength is going up day by day. You have been increasing by leaps and bounds, young man. You're doing incredible things in the arm wrestling world. And I did have your shirt on yesterday, actually, the I've Always Been Jacked t-shirt. And you can get that at the AWE shop. At the awearmwrestling.com. I still won't bring that up, actually, because I'm quite happy with that shirt. It makes me laugh every time I see it. Where are we now? How do I do this? Because they've changed things on me. This program, this Restream program, has redesigned their format, and it's like everything's different now. Like, where is the? So just give me 1 second. I'll just find it. Share screen. That's the one. Yes. Okay, we'll start with that one. All right. And we don't want the audio. We just want the screen. There we go. What do we got? It's come up smaller than what I used to. I think you was talking about your biceps there. Oh, thank you. Thank you, USS Liberty. Oh, Sylvester Stallone is here. My favorite username. I always makes me laugh, that one. Sylvester Stallone. I think it's very, very clever. Yes, I've got the East versus West page up. I thought we'd run through some of the matchups. There's a lot of really big matchups that are going on this weekend. Very exciting. Let me bring up awearmwrestling.com so we can have a look at Rickard's shirt and share this one. There we go. There's a picture of me and Rickard. Well, it's me and a graphic image of Rickard. I should replace those images with the images of Rickard rather than me. I've always been jacked. All right, we jump over to, there it is. I've always been jacked t-shirt. I'd like to make that bigger. Let me see if I can do that. There we go. I've always been jacked. Rickard Bornman, who's in the chat right now. Bornman number 1. The AWE logo. Oh, you guys won't be able to hear that. Let me put the audio on, because this is the context of that moment. Let me bring that back up, and I'll get the audio going for you. Stop sharing. All right, let's share it again, but we'll share it with the audio so you can hear this funny moment here. All right, let me rewind that. All right.
When did you start actually training to be strong?
I would say grade 10. I really started, but all my life I was jacked, and I don't know. I think really
I love it.
So good. man. All right, hang on, let me go back into this. Everything is all different spots now. I'm trying to find where my stuff is going. They've literally, hey, we've upgraded our thing. Like as you load into the streams network, it's like everything is now in a different spot and everything looks different. So yes, you have to bear with me a little bit on that. But this is kind of cool having the small window because you know, the previous window would take up so much room, but now I do have the option there, which is fantastic. Wicked. Yes. When we saw that interview, I was looking for certain bits that you were saying when you had your match coming up with Mario Tembakis, and I wanted to make a really nice preview and trailer and get people hyped into the match and find interview moments where you'd said certain things that you know I could take and use that in the promo. And as soon as I saw that little bit, that became like the thing, and Dave loved it as well. And every time your name came up, it was always I've always been jacked. Was the because you said it so naturally, so humbly, so that's just a matter of fact. That's just a fact of life that I have always been jacked. It came across so funny to us that that someone would say that and say it genuinely as well. So yes, you can see Ryan's reaction, instant laugh on that. But yes, we've always enjoyed that aspect of whenever we think of Rickard Borman, and that's why I was like, well, I'm going to make a T-shirt out of that because I think it made me laugh enough that I decided that it was worth T-shirt worthy. So yes, the Drew says Rickard jacked Borman. He is indeed. He is on a tear at the moment. Maybe pushing for that #1 spot in the country of Australia. He has some big things coming up for this year, which we're very excited about. Can't announce anything yet because it's up to. Well, actually, I can't say anything about that. But yes, lots of good things coming up for Rickard Borman. And I hope I'm saying that right. I always say it like that, and then I'm wondering if I'm actually pronouncing it correctly. One of our guys at our club is from South Africa as well, and he said, "No, you're not rolling the R enough. The Rickard. It's got to sound like what do you say? A lawnmower that's trying to start. So I'm trying to start the lawnmower. Rickard. So there we go. That's how you can do it. That's a little tip. If you're trying to say Rickard Borman, just think of a lawnmower that you're trying to get to start and it won't start. Tall Paul is here. Hello to Tall Paul. Great to see you in here. I just responded to one of your comments on YouTube earlier today, and great to see you. Tall Paul was taller, and now he has lost a little bit of his height over the years. I think, what did he start at 6'6"? Or are you 6'6" now? Oh, I can't remember. I know there's a 6'6" in there at some point. The Legend of the Year. Legend Rookie of the Year. Ooh, go Rickard. Absolutely. Rickard the Mower Borman. Oh, that's it. But no, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen his first match. I don't know what we're talking. Rickard, you're in the chat. I'm talking about you now. But you get me excited and interested and keen on AWE and what we're doing. And I just remember seeing your first ever super match, which was AWE. Was it 1 or 2? Was it 1 or 2? It was AWE 2 here in Adelaide. And it was against Mario Tembakis. No small task, no easy task. One of the hardest opponents we could possibly find for you. But that's the level we felt that you were at. That we found an opponent worthy of Rickard Borman. It was going to be somebody who was very, very up there, and Mario Tembakis is that guy. And he recently had a win over in the US at Knuckles Up 3. Was it 4? 3. I think it was Knuckles Up 3 against Jason the Fine Wine Merlot, who's also one of the best arm wrestlers over in North America in his weight class. So fantastic win for Mario there. And he went against Rickard Borman in Rickard's very first match. And we have it on YouTube. I'm thinking, should I play it? Do we want to see that match? Then let me know in the comments if you want to see that match, and I'll run through it because it is an interesting time, and Rickard has improved significantly since that match as well. But let me know if you want to see that, and I'll pop it up, and we'll run through it quickly. But aside from that, we'll have a quick look at some of these matches that are going on with this other promotion thing. No, it's a little one. You guys might have heard of it. That East versus West. I don't know. Has anyone heard of that? So yes, they have a big event this weekend, which has a lot of really big names on the card, and I'm surprised, honestly, that they've gone and thrown Devin and Chance on there as well. From promoter's perspective, it's like, well, if you're in North America for the first time, you've got Devin, he's coming to the event regardless. I mean, he was going to be there anyway. It's like, I get the idea of it, to have him against Chance Shaw and say, hey, let's get some more eyeballs, let's get more people interested in the event. Devin's coming here anyway. Devin, you and I, let's have a match. It's like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? It'll be fun. And regardless, Devin's basically number 2 in the world, and Chance, I'm not sure where he's ranked, but he kind of gets a number 2 guy in the world. It's like, yeah, we pretty sure we know the outcome here, but it should be fun, and that's the point. It's like, hey, you get to see Devin arm wrestling on the table, and it wasn't a scheduled thing. It was just a last minute, let's put this together. So I don't care. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be fun. And it's more of like an exhibition match. I wouldn't be surprised, and I said this in on Jake's stream earlier today. I wouldn't be surprised if Devin lets him get a couple of pins just to try to make it more interesting or more fun. But yeah, I think he'll play around a lot and try to make it a show, because that's what it is. It's you're there for entertainment. At the end of the day, this match is not, it's a fun match. It's like, this is something that they're putting on as an extra. So there you go. That would be awesome. This is Torpor that was probably about to going through Rickard's match. I want to see Reiners versus Khaled Jashel. Reiners. Ooh, who's Reiners? Or maybe Rickard? Is that who you meant? Oh, yeah, Rickard. Okay, yeah. Rickard versus Khaled. Yeah, I don't think Khaled has been in the arm wrestling scene for a while now. He moved into MMA for a little while, but yeah, I haven't seen him on the table. I haven't heard that he's been training. I don't think he's training with Larry or anything anymore. Yeah, I don't know if he's that keen on doing arm wrestling anymore at this point. I think he had some issues going on as well. Would be insane if Chance pulls off the win, though. Yeah, well, it would be funny. It would be amusing. I think if there's a way to bet on it, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just put like $5 on. I'd just be like, $5, because if it's like 20 to 1 odds or 100 to 1 odds, which it should be, then you might get a little bit of cash out of it and some entertainment at the same time. But I wouldn't be surprised, not because I think Chance would win legitimately. I think that Devin might let him get the win, or he might play around too much and accidentally lose. Sylvester Stallone. Devin will eat all the pancakes if he loses. Yes, that's right. All at once. All at one time in one sitting. Oops, I missed that one. USS Liberty says, I'm surprised how heavy Michael Todd looks. So how heavy is he at this point in time? I haven't seen any footage of him recently, but we've got him versus Kamil Jablonski. If you guys can see that, let me make that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, well, last time I saw Michael, he was probably sitting around, the 100 kilo, 220, 230 mark. I think he had slimmed down a lot. He was in the 105 division, which is 230 pounds, I think. 232, something like that. My camera is playing up. It likes to do that. It likes to flash me on and off the screen every now and then. It just goes, we'll just put a strobe effect on for some reason. But yeah, Michael Todd, not sure. Has he bulked up a lot? maybe we can look that up. But let me know how heavy he actually is. I think the last time he competed in the under 105 kilo class, which is like 230 pounds. So if he's gone up a lot of since then, he doesn't look like he has in that photo, but I mean, that photo could have been taken a year ago. Erican, hello to you, sir. Yo, I'm just here from the gym feeling, wow, I don't think I've seen that word before. Peckalicious. Wow. Peckalicious? I'm feeling peckalicious. I'm not sure if that's how you say that word. I've never heard of that word before. How bad will Chance be embarrassed in his joke of a match that he asked for helping host East versus West over there? I don't think he'll be embarrassed at all. I think he'll absolutely relish the fact that he gets the opportunity to get on with Devin Larratt in a super match at an East versus West card. I would do it. I would get completely destroyed as well, but I would still do it. It would be so fun. It'd be like, yeah, hey, look, everyone, I'm on the table with Devin. Look at me trying to win. Look how I can't win, see? I don't think he'll be embarrassed at all. I think he'll be very happy to have been able to put that together, because that has brought like a last minute interest into the event. I mean, they have so many really good matches, but yeah, this is what I was alluding to earlier, that I'm a little surprised that they felt maybe that they had to add this, or they have added this to get more interest. So hopefully they weren't. Well, hopefully they were garnering enough interest from the quality competitors that they have on the card already. Yeah, because if they're like, oh, we're not selling, or it's not doing well, we need to get Devin on the card under any circumstances, give him anybody just to try to get interest in the card. I would hate for that to be the reason that they've done it. I think more so it's just like it's a convenience. It's like Devin's coming to the event. It's the first one in North America. It's like, we'll see if he wants that match. He's coming anyway. It's like, yeah, let's put him on the table. And that's what we're doing. And it's like, well, who do you want to put him against? It's like, well, all the top guys are pulling already. It's like, well, Chance is there. Well, yeah, Chance, he'll do it. And yeah, I don't mind. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be more fun than anything else. I think you can't approach that looking at it, oh, this is a serious match. It's just going to be, they're going to come out and it's like, yeah, and everyone's going to excited, and the people go, this is Devin, this is the guy, this is the one who's going to win. And, you know, so I don't mind it at all. I think it's going to be fun. I thought Chance was trying to diet and lose weight, but he's 290. Somebody said 290. I have to get my calculator out for that. 290 divided by 2.2. Wow, 131 kilos. That is a big, that's a lot of weight. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe he was dieting for a bit. I don't think I've seen much change to his physique over the few years. He's maybe slimmed down a little bit, but he's always sort of been around that size. So yeah, but he'll have the weight advantage. I don't think it's going to make any difference. He could weigh as much as Corey West weighs, which I think is around 200, which is like 440 pounds. I don't think it's make any difference whatsoever. Michael Todd is looking really good, trying to be a presser with his new arm. A presser, yeah. Well, he's always had a very good press. That's one of those secret weapons he likes to employ in a match where he's dropped into the King's move, say 3 or 4 times in a row, and then all of a sudden he'll hit this crazy fast press, and he'll set up the same way as a King's move, but he'll jump in on a press, and he catches a lot of people with it. He is really strong at that move. It has been for many, many years. So it'll be exciting to see if he's able to get the win. This matchup actually is kind of an interesting one, because, you know, Michael is on a bit of a comeback. He was, I mean, a couple of years ago, he was king of the world, you know, in the WAL matches, and he beat Devin. He had the hammer, and you know, it was Michael Todd was the man. And then he had a couple of losses and a few injuries, and struggled a little bit with the change of table design in terms of the pad length. Wasn't allowing him to drag back as far with his elbow. But he's recently come to good form, had a fantastic win against Frank Lamparelli, who's pulling on this card as well. yeah, it'll be good. I think if Michael wins, it'll continue his push that he wants to continue towards that number one, like towards that upper echelon area again. I think if he loses, I think that may be one of those, I don't want to say nail in the coffin, but I think it would halt his progress significantly and may have to have him go back to the drawing board. So a lot on the line for Michael Todd. But if he's going to push towards those upper levels, Camille is one of the guys who you got to prove yourself against. So we'll see what happens. Erican, Chance has some saggy tartars, 290 pounds of crap is still crap. Well, that's not a nice thing to say. Chance is a lovely guy. He's very nice, very friendly, very well respected in the arm wrestling world, and he is a fantastic arm wrestler. But yes, he is carrying some excess body weight, but that's his decision. Yeah. Look how I can't win. Oh, that's great. That's what it would be like. Because there's no point, like, look at me. I'm on the table with Devin on the biggest stage, on a pay-per-view event. And it's like, it ain't moving. It's not going past center. So I see how strong he is. That's all that would happen. Tugboat is unreal first pull, but falls fast. He does tend to fade. Yeah, he's powerful top roll hit is insanely. It's quick and it's incredibly strong. And when he hits that thing, if you're not completely braced up against it and you're ready for it, and he gets what he needs in that setup, he'll even the best in the world are going to struggle to contain that. But I think Devin's ability to contain setup and just get exactly what he wants is going to prevent Chance from being able to get what he needs to hit that explosive hit. Although Devin may give it to him in the later rounds just to see if he can hold it. But yeah, with Chance having the shorter forearm as well, and Devin having such a height advantage, it's going to be really difficult for Chance to get into that position that he needs to. Look at Chance versus Ron Barth. Yeah, well, there you go. That's a great example right there. It's one of those things, isn't it? Because having explosive power, it's almost like that Dave Chafee effect, where those first two rounds you look unstoppable. Like this guy's he's just going to walk through every opponent here, and especially in tournaments. I mean, having an explosive genetic trait in a tournament format is just second to none, because you can blast through 6 or 7 people without having used hardly any energy. Whereas if you get into a couple of wars back and forth, by the time you make it to the finals, you're already wrecked. Like you're a quarter of what you could have been. So yeah, we see that a bit with some of the top guys that have that real explosiveness, and it fades very quickly. I'd say, yeah, your best examples would probably be Chance and Dave Chafee for that. But I know they've worked on it, but it's almost like it's one of those genetic traits that if you've got explosiveness, that's the price of having that gift. The explosiveness comes at the cost of getting tired faster. Yeah, unless you can blast through them 4 times in a row. But yeah, if you get stopped and you run out of gas quickly, and then you've got 3 more rounds to go, it's almost lights out at that point. But it's fun. This is one of the fun things about arm wrestling for me, is that everybody brings a certain talent or a certain gift, regardless as to what background they're coming from, and it will lead them towards a certain path of style of technique, whether it's hook, top roll, or press, and they'll naturally gravitate towards one or the other. And it's so fun for me to have new people that come in the club and see them discover what works best for them. And some people, you think, okay, this guy is tall, he's got a long arm, he'd be a great top roller, but they just can't coordinate the pronation, and they just always want to it's like, I just feel so strong turning inside. It's like, well, do that. You don't have to do something that makes you feel weaker. Do what comes naturally to you and then build your game around it. Because even if to me it feels weaker, like when they say I feel stronger doing this than this, to me it might feel weaker, but to them in their mind they feel stronger. And it's like, go with what you naturally are feeling, because that's going to get you those gains a lot faster, because if you've already coordinated those movements. And maybe it's like, okay, I feel like I want to turn inside. Well, do I want to hook, or do I feel like I want to get my shoulder behind? And you sort of see those natural developments over time, which is just, yeah, it's so cool. And especially like, say you don't pull with somebody for a few weeks and you get on the table with them and all of a sudden they're pressing through you and you're like, when did this happen? Like, when did you start pressing? And they're like, oh, I don't know, just a couple of weeks ago it seemed to coordinate and start working for me. Like, well, yeah, it's much better than what you were doing. So, but that is one of the fun things for arm wrestling for me. What do we got here? Tall Paul says, Chance got a legit pin on Brezink a couple of years ago or so. He's definitely strong, and 60 pounds heavier than Devin will make it fun for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Devin has all the tools he needs to handle what Chance is going to bring for him on the table. Explosive top roll. I mean, Devin's got the longer forearm. He's got the experience. He knows how to set up to prevent Chance from getting what he needs to be able to make that hit. If he doesn't have that hit, there's probably not a secondary game that's anywhere near as strong for Chance. So yeah, we'll see. I think Devin will make it fun though. I think he'll just mess around a lot in the setup and be like talking trash and making a show of it. And maybe he'll give some pins for Chance, but yeah, apart from that, it's more of a fun thing. It's like an exhibition. It's like Floyd Mayweather boxed one of those guys in China. They brought him out there and he ran around the ring for like 6 rounds with some dude for like, I don't know, $10 million or something. And it's like, you knew when you were watching it, it's like they're not trying to kill each other. It's an exhibition match. It's for fun. It's not, yeah, it's not a serious thing. Sylvester Stallone. Yep, he ran straight to the pad on the first surge of Brezink. Yeah, that was Brezink's comeback super match, though, wasn't it? From out of retirement, I believe that he had his first match, and it was with Chance Shaw. And then I think his next one was with Devin. Like John Brezink's next match, I believe he went from Chance Shaw. He was like, all right, Devin Larratt. Hang on a minute. Wait. Takes no. And I think he pulled a tournament the weekend before the match with Devin as well. So, hey, why not? If you're the greatest of all time, we should be following what you do and not telling you what to do. Absolutely, Stallone. If he had some endurance, he would be a tough one. Yes, that's it. Well, there we go. Yeah, I'm not convinced Corey West is actually a good arm wrestler. His size helps him a lot, but Toddzilla made him look like a joke. Yeah, well, Todd is one of the best arm wrestlers in the world, and I think he would make most people look like a joke. Corey is, I mean, if that was from a while ago, I can't remember that match, but Corey is definitely up there with strength, with his abilities. Yes, he is a very big man, and he uses that weight to great effect. Would he be as good if he wasn't as big? I don't know, but he is, and that's all we've got to go by. And currently, he's doing phenomenal things in the arm wrestling world. Whereas he's got a match here as well, hasn't he? Actually, we've got Michael Todd. Michael Todd. So it's just looking at Michael Todd. Todd Hutchings. He is on this card against Prudnik. I do believe Todd will get the win there. I think Prudnik coming back from an injury and some time off will hamper his ability to contain the king of side pressure, Todzilla's massive hit. Where was the other one? Corey West. There it is. Corey West and Travis Bagent. Now, this one was an exciting one for me because we were talking about this on the Arm Wrestling Buzz show yesterday as to whether or not Travis will continue his rise back to the absolute best in the world on left arm. And Corey West, I believe he's ranked number 1 in North America at the moment. But Travis looking to take that rank and then potentially move up to challenge for that number 1 position. But yeah, he had a great left-handed match. Who was he going against prior to that? I'm trying to remember. I watched it. Who did Travis go against left hand most recently? Because he lost his right hand match, but he won the left hand match prior to that. Anyway, but him versus Corey West on this card will be that's one of those 50-50 matches. And I think it really comes down to what form Travis is in. As to, you know, he's got a lot of distractions going on in his life. His son is in the NFL. His other son is looking to try out. His daughter's doing something or another. He's a busy man, and trying to dedicate yourself to becoming number 1 in the world at arm wrestling on top of that is always a difficult ask. So we'll see how Travis goes, whether or not he's sort of jumping back in for a few months of, let me see if I can compete with the top guys, and or if he's doing it to, no, I definitely want to be that number 1, and I'm putting in all my time and effort into becoming that number 1 guy on left arm again. Well, this is going to be the proving ground, because Corey West is no slouch, a 200 kilo man, 440 pounds. He is an absolute monster. And yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, it's the inside game versus Travis's. Well, it's similar, Travis and Chance's hits, I would say. I mean, not exactly the same, but Travis is known for that just explosive hit. And if he gets caught, it's almost like he gets caught and stopped. He's like, yeah, you can have that one. We'll just save my energy for another explosive hit. So we'll see how he goes. That is one of the ones I am very much looking forward to seeing. Sylvester Stallone. I think the Jedi can hold off the Barmer Bull. God, you're going with the nicknames here. Which one's which? You're going to have to tell me that. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, that's not it. Toddzilla broke Corey. Yeah, Toddzilla is a monster of a man at his height and weight. You know, this guy is a giant killer. Absolutely. And so did Dave Chafee. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. I did love Corey's match against Brzenk. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, well, didn't Corey break he tore his bicep on his left a couple of years ago in a tournament? I believe I remember seeing that. He was there with Michael Todd, and I'm pretty sure it was his left arm that he tore the bicep on. But then he continued pulling in the right-hand class, but he finished the day out. He had like an ice pack that was strapped around his arm to help with the torn bicep. But yeah, what a legend to continue on the day. Let me hide that for a second. There we go. All right. Okay, so Erican says, Chance may be a nice guy, but every time I see him in an interview, he comes across poorly. I wish he'd get in quality shape instead of relying on getting a fast start and pulling down with a big ass. Yeah, well, the fun thing about this sport is we have characters and we have people of all sizes and all shapes, and you know, people that want to present themselves really well, the way they dress, the way they speak, and then you got other people that are not interested in that at all, or people that are quite happy to just be themselves. And I think Chance is one of those guys that he's very much what you see is what you get. He's not there to try to impress anyone. He's there to, hey, I'm Chance Shaw, I'm an arm wrestler, and that's what I do. And, you know, Tugboat is his nickname. He wears Hawaiian shirts and he likes to arm wrestle. I think that sort of says it all for Chance there. The Gravity Man. Oh, the Gravity Man. Oh, that's great. Corey is awesome, but not the top right hand. Yeah, it's a left-handed match. I'm not sure where Corey is ranked, but I swear I heard somebody say that he was number 1 in North America on left currently in the super heavyweight division, which is why Travis sort of was happy to have that match with him because it was, if he wins, then he would take that rank. Skinny Vegan Devin versus Gummy Bear Diet Chance. Good fun exhibition match, though. Yes, it should be fun. It should be a good laugh. I'm sure that it'll be a lot more fun than serious. Chance will probably hit Devin with a flop press to get that weight on Devin's arm. Yeah, well, you never know. He might do anything. He's known for his explosive hit, usually a top roll. I don't think I've seen him flop press. But maybe he would do that as if Devin's going to eliminate all my ability to do everything and anything in the setup, yeah, you can take everything, Devin, but I'm going to flop wrist press. You didn't see that coming. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Captain Obvious is here. Oh, I just read your comment. Hello to you. I didn't notice that it was you. Cheers, Matt. And chat, great to see you here, Captain Obvious. The Drew. Oh, that's who won against. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can always rely on the Drew. John versus Chance. Then John versus Paul Lynn, I think. But I don't know. Yeah, well, Paul Lynn, he's on this card, isn't he? What have we got? I swear I saw Paul Lynn's name on here. There he is. Yeah, Paul Lynn versus Rustam Babayev. Yeah, well, Paul has looked on an absolute tear in recent times. He's leveling up. I think this is probably the best he's ever looked. I think he's at his absolute finest moment and peak condition right now. The way he was able to get through Lachlan Adair so comfortably was very surprising to me. I had that as a 50-50 match. I couldn't really pick a winner. I had both guys as having an identical skill set, and I wasn't sure who was going to be able to, employ their will. But to see Paul able to handle that match so comfortably, it was very, very impressive. And so Rustam Babayev is a great step up and a challenge for him. We'll see what happens in that match, but if he wins that, I would love to see John Brezink versus Paul Lynn. I think that would be a fantastic match to have. Tall Paul, everyone saying hello to each other. I'm just sliding through the comments here so I catch up on where we are. Erican says, I hope Prudnik wins, but Todd is so good. He is so good. He is. But, I mean, if anyone has the ability and the knowledge, the technical skill to do it, you'd think Prudnik would be the man. He is. Yeah, I think that the hampering factors are the fact he's coming back off a bit of a layoff, off an injury, but he is still an absolute monster on the table. It's just, it's like, how do you deal with, what Toddzilla is going to do? Everyone knows he's going to just get your hand and just go sideways no matter what. He's like, I don't care if you take my hand. I don't care what happens, whether I get pronation or not. He's like, I'm going that way. And whether your arm's coming with me or not is the question. So we'll see what happens. Hunter is looking large, getting in Doug's head. Yeah, what's their weights for that? Because that's an exciting match, the Hunter Knopfs and Doug match. Right arm super match, lightweight. What's lightweight in, what is that, 70 kilos? Like 100 and... what is that? I have to do my calculation again. 70 times 2.2. 154. Yeah. Well, that's if it is 70 kilos for their class. But both fast, explosive hitters. Doug talking a lot of trash leading into this match is going to be exciting. I think Hunter has sort of kept an even keel leading into it. But there's going to be fireworks. This is definitely the match that I'm the most excited to see. I love it when there's some trash talk and some bad blood leading into a match. It really adds to the drama. And as I've said before, if it was two people that have never arm wrestled before, but they hate each other, they've talked trash, and they're about to arm wrestle, I want to see it. That's the fun part of that, is that you can get two people. It doesn't matter what their skill level is. It's like the build up and the drama part of it is what makes it fun and interesting. Topol is saying hello to everybody. Hello. Topol says, let's go to Beast. It's going to be tough for old Travis, but I'm rooting, tooting for him. It will be a big ask. Corey West is a giant, a literal giant. But one of the factors that I did notice, which may come into play here, because Travis does like to take so long to set up, I think that the endurance factor would be in his favor, because I can't remember who Corey was going against. Maybe it was Kadecha in East versus West, maybe about a year ago. And that first round, I was talking about this yesterday on the Arm Wrestling Buzz show. Apologies if you have to hear the story again. But that first round, I believe it went for like 18 minutes. And there was so many resets and restarts and slips and strap and fouls. And it was still 0-0. And Corey was pouring out with sweat. He was exhausted. And they hadn't even got a score on the board yet. And this was a 6-round match. So he faded very quickly, and I think that maybe Travis might employ that, or he might not even consciously be doing it. But I think that the fact that Travis will walk up, he'll pretend to set up for a bit, and then he'll let go and walk away and go and get chalk, and then he'll come back, and then he'll pretend to get set up, and then he'll walk away and get a drink, and then it's like, all those little things that he does to drag out the match. If he hasn't got exactly the right setup he wants, he'll just literally let go and walk away. So that may come into a factor. Maybe there's some fouls, maybe there's some restarts, and the longer the match goes, I think the worse it is for Corey. Chance will fight Devin. Oh, that could be as entertaining as the as the arm wrestling match. Remember when Devin did the boxing? That was cool. That was fun. With World's Strongest Man, Hathor Bjornsson. And I believe Hathor's original opponent got injured, and they were scrambling to try to find somebody. Or maybe it was Eddie Hall. I think he was supposed to go against Eddie Hall, and then Eddie got injured or something like that, and they had to postpone. And anyway, but yeah, Devin was one of the guys in the running for the position to get the fight, because they had a few people that they reached out to, and Devin was one of them. And yeah, he managed to get the spot, and big payday for him, big attention, and well done to him for, he did get finished in was it the first round? Did he make it out of the first round? But he took some big punches, and he kept standing, and getting in there is just legendary. I mean, he didn't have a big camp leading into the event. I know he's done some probably some martial arts training through special forces and stuff like that, but it's been many years, I believe, since he was in the special forces, and especially specifically just boxing training. I doubt that he was doing a lot of that. So yeah, what an absolute legend to get in there against. I mean, the guy, Hathor Bjornsson, the mountain. I mean, he's a monster. He's literally a giant. And yeah, what a entertaining moment that was. Roy, hello to Roy. Hello, I thought Cody Merritt is ranked number 1 on the left. Yeah, I can't remember who is. I'm going off what somebody said, and it was like, but regardless, Corey is one of the top guys in North America for sure. Yeah, maybe it's Cody Merritt. I don't know. I can't remember. Where do you go to find the ranks anyway for North America? Do they have official ranks, or is it just sort of like everyone's like, yeah, that guy? Jacobin, pretty stacked card for people saying the buys are not so good. Yeah, well, that is a surprise to me. I'm not sure what factors are playing into if they're not selling a lot of the buys, because this card is stacked. Absolutely. You've got the real patriotic factor there as well. It's in the hometown in North America. Yeah, I think it's in Orlando, and you think that they would be able to promote the event. They'd be getting a lot of interest. They'd be getting a lot of press. They should be reaching out to all of the newspapers, medias, trying to get TV coverage, everything and anything to say, hey, look, this giant international event is taking place here in America, and this is how you get tickets. This is how you can watch it. This is how. I haven't seen any of that. I think that some of their promotion may need a different strategy, because if they've got this level of pullers and they're struggling to get people interested, that's a telling sign. And yeah, it's not that the talent isn't good enough, it's not that the show isn't good enough, but getting the word out there to people has if they haven't been selling enough, that's should be their number one priority. It's like, well, we've got all the pullers, they're all signed, everything's organized. You should have another section that you're saying, okay, this is our marketing section. We need you guys reaching out to as much media as possible, getting as much interest in this as we possibly can. It should be everywhere. It should be ads all over social media. I haven't seen any of that. So whatever. I mean, maybe putting Devin on the card will help with that. Some say Cody, some say Corey. Yeah. Is there an official list? I don't know. Travis says, Roy says, Travis said he wants to be number one in the US before going international. His plan is to win versus Corey now and Merritt in December. Then he will go for the international ranking. Well, there you go. Thank you, Roy. That clears up a few things. Hello, Tall Paul. Yeah, you're going to be in Orlando. I hope that you guys are going to the event, or some of the guys in here would be, because you would think that it's a really big card, big event, like the stream. Or yeah, I thought you were saying that you like the stream, but he's trying to tell everyone to click the thumbs up button, which would be handy. It does help. Thank you very much. No, Roy, would be nice though. It's a 14-hour drive. You could fly. It's a 27-hour drive, or it's a 5-hour flight. I don't know. It's fine. I mean, hey, you one of those things with America that I've noticed over my life is, and other parts of Australia even, there's a lot of events going on there all the time, a lot of big events, and so it's really a spoilt for choice kind of thing. It's like, do we want to see East versus West? Do we want to see Knuckles Up? Do we want to go check out Monster Factory? Do we want to go watch the local tournament that's on down the road? Or there's another 4 events around the corner, or next weekend there's this, so the ability to be able to see high quality events is there sort of year round. Whereas living here in South Australia, in Adelaide, a lovely place to live, but most big events don't come here. So we would have to travel to Melbourne or Sydney or Brisbane or somewhere like that, and to see a big concert or a big event, because it's just not warranted here. And so it's like if this card was taking place in Australia, I think everyone would be flying there regardless, because it'd be one of those rare opportunities to see something. And it's like the first time the UFC came to Australia, for the very first event, UFC 110 in Sydney. I was there, and so was everyone. The whole place was sold out, and the entire audience was there from the very first fight. The entire stadium was filled, even though it started at like 8 a.m. or something, because of the time difference for the US audience. But usually in a UFC card, most of the audience won't start getting there until maybe 4 or 5 fights to the end of the card, and most people will only come for the last 3 or 4 fights. But in Australia, because it was, and we were so excited, it was like, finally the UFC is come to Australia. We're all going. Everyone everyone that was a fan flew to Sydney, and the entire stadium, I think it was like 40,000 people or something, was filled from the very first fight. And yeah, that's one of those differences that, you know, it's just one of those different things between the areas of the world that you live in. It's almost like if you lived in Las Vegas and you'd be so used to having major acts there all the time. Be like, yeah, we'll see David Copperfield next week. It's like, yeah, you know, it's like, oh, whatever. You get what I'm saying, I believe. Is the Chance versus Devin match right or left arm? I would say it's right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a right arm match. I think that's Chance's best chance. Or his best arm. Oh, there we go. Sylvester's already answered for me. I should read down further before I. I'm planning to go to the one in Vegas. It's a little closer to me. Well, there you go. Grant Law. The Law. One of our pullers here in South Australia in the Adelaide Club, the SA Titans Club. Grant the Law. Very original and very clever nickname. Our sport needs Travis. His commentary is legendary too, unless you're from Georgia and your surname is Shagganass Willie. As Travis pronounces it. Yeah, Shagganass Willie. That's great. It's great to see you in here, Grant. Happy birthday, by the way. Corey or Cody Merritt, number one left hand? That's the question. Can we get an official consensus on this? Can we have somebody that says, look at this site, it lists the top ranks in North America officially, and Cody or Corey is number one? I'd love to see that. Dakota Shipton is here. Hello to you, sir. Dakota runs a fantastic podcast as well, and he recently had a big win. And you can see I did a review on his match on my channel, and very dominant win. A lot of manipulation in the setup there, Dakota. You were taking a leaf out of Devin's book, but you did a fantastic job, and yeah, well done to you. Topol says, heck yeah, Roy, that will be awesome in Vegas. I'm waiting for one to come around in Tennessee. So I mean, you guys to wait till they get to your city. It's like, bloody hell. Spoiled. I traveled to Ireland to see a show. It took me 2 days to get there. Three days. These band-aids are falling off. Burnt my arm on the kettle. The kettle is hot. Don't put your arm on it, by the way. Devin's long arm is going to be a problem. It will. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, I think he'll be able to eliminate Chance's ability to get what he needs in that setup. But I think it'll be more fun. I think, as I said before, I think it would be more of a fun match. Mr. Dakota. Next king of the table in Vegas. He asks, and Roy says, no, the next king of the table is in Poland, then Vegas. What's the Vegas one? When's the Vegas one? It's in December. It was fun. I'm reading out your conversation here. That's exciting. I want to go to that one. Do you know the date? And then say hello to Dakota. Dakota, 11th, December the 11th. Well, there we go. Hey, Tall Paul and Sly, says Dakota. 77 kilos. I don't know what you're referring to there. Maybe I'm way back on the comments here, but I will jump through them. I'll try to skip through the hellos to each other. Hunter looks bigger than I thought. Yeah, that's the second person that said that. Hunter is 2 feet tall. Hunter could be a superstar in the sport, without a doubt. I hope he gets his promotion of himself done, because he has a lot of charisma and he is an entertainer on the table. If he can tie in the ability to promote that on social media as well. And that's the thing. He doesn't have to do it himself. He can hire somebody to do it. Just send them videos. Just you train with your training session and just send that to somebody who edit it and get shorts and fun moments, and they'll put it up for you. It's worth it. I think that he has all of the tools to become like a Conor McGregor of arm wrestling. Like Sasho. Yeah, Sasho is a short guy. Roy says, John looks bigger also. He gained a lot of weight since his Men's Health magazine piece. Yeah, I guess with those photo shoots, you're really dieting down. They give you like a couple of months to prepare for that. And so, you know, I'm not sure if they actually monitor how you're looking, or they provide you with nutritionists or, you know, dietitian or a trainer or something like that. But they are really adamant that, like, you want to be in shape if you're going to be on the cover. You know, you can't just be rocking up, not having trained, not being lean, not looking good, because that's not what we're promoting. We're promoting like high level fit athletes here. And so, yeah, it may be a little difficult to compare somebody who's dieted down and trained for a photo shoot, and then compared to the way that they look just walking around naturally. Mr. Peanut says that's the referee's fault. I have no idea. I'm probably way behind on where we are here. Erican, when Travis decides to be an absolute scumbag in the setup, he may be the best at it. Oh, Mr. Peanut, that's probably what I was talking about. Travis walking away from the table. Yeah, thank you. Jeez, I'm behind here. Yeah, well, that's right. Well, that is exactly the point. And this is what frustrates me, is when athletes do walk away, something on my lip, when they walk away from the table, and it's like, where are you going? You're in the match. Like, this is the match here. You've already had chalk, or you should have had chalk in your break. Like, don't just wander off. And one of the things that really annoys me is when they slip and then both guys just disappear. And it's like, it's a slip. It's just, where are you going? Come back here. Don't walk away from the table. You've slipped. Now we've got to strap you together. And that's going to take time as well. So don't wander away, get a drink, talk to your corner man, do this, get a massage, you know, sit in an ice bath for a few minutes and then come back to the table. It's a slip. Tell that I'm frustrated there. My voice went higher. It's about as high as my voice can get. If you could choose Brian Shaw's first super match, who would you choose? It's a very good question. I like that, Erican. He would have to go against somebody with a big name, somebody who has a big following that's going to draw a lot of attention. Because if you've got somebody like Brian Shaw, who, you know, world's strongest man, is a giant, there is going to be a lot of interest in that. And then they'll be going, who's he going against? And if you say somebody, like, even if you went against, let's say, Chance Shaw, people are like, who, what? Who is that? Oh, he was a top arm wrestler in America. Oh, okay. And it doesn't have the appeal. But if you get him against somebody who has a really big following, who has a lot of attention, that would be the best course of action, I would say. I'm trying to think who would be a great match for, because he's a monster. He's a huge man. God. Yeah, I might have to come back to that one, because that is a tricky question to come off an answer off the top of my head. But yeah, essentially somebody with a lot of popularity and a lot of interest that may be able to compete with Brian. But yeah, I would be very excited to see what he does. I think having a warm-up match or is a terrible idea. Like putting him against just a no-name guy just to see how it goes, you're going to lose all the interest, because especially if he loses. But yeah, it is what it is. Crazy Uncle Jim actually says Brian Shaw versus Leonidas. That would be interesting. Yeah, for sure. Leonidas, I'm not sure how many followers he has. I think he has a massive following. That would be quite interesting. He's competed on the elite level. Having a win over Schoolboy will definitely help him. And if he does manage to get a win over Brezink this weekend, I mean, that just makes the ideal candidate, although he would be a lot smaller. Who are you going to find that's going to be Brian Shaw's size? The guy's like 6'8" and like, I don't know, 400 pounds. He's like a bear. Yeah, it'd be difficult to find a suitable opponent. I think that would be a good one though. That's probably heading in the right direction with Leonidas. The buyers being not so good is just a speculation. Yeah, I don't know if it is or isn't either. We're just talking hypotheticals here, and yeah, if they haven't done well with their sales, then you'd have to look at that and say, well, why didn't we do well? We've got a great card, we've got a big event, we've done what we've done what we needed to do to put on a good show and a good production that people will enjoy. So if you're not getting people to buy it, it's like, okay, well, what's the issue there? Like, where did we go wrong? Because we know that these guys are quality arm wrestlers, and it's just like, well, if we didn't sell, it's not the arm wrestlers. There's something else that hasn't worked here. Whether we didn't promote the event well, whether we didn't push it enough on social media or in print media, But I'm surprised they haven't really gone all out and tried to get it on TV and hire a PR manager and get them to send out to all newspapers in your area, to national places, to media coverage, and get people there to film the event and talk about your event on the news. And it does help. It does add legitimacy to your organization and will help with sales. And Will says adding Devon will add significant pay-per-view buys. Yeah, that's their plan. Is that, I mean, if they could have Devon on there every show, they probably would. But there's only there is a fine line, though, isn't there, between seeing one of the top guys too often, and if they're there too many times at, like, say, every event or every second event, people, that interest factor will drop down and it won't be as valuable. So you have to use it sparingly. I think some people are that's one of the issues that they're having with this, is they're saying, look, hey, Devon's going for pulling a Van, like number one in the world. He's going for the number one in the world title. And now he's pulling against a guy that's probably, well, I don't know where Chance is ranked, but he hasn't done overly well in the East versus West matches that he's had. I think he's like 1-5. So yeah, I mean, it's, as I said, it's going to be a fun match. It'll be an exhibition. If you treat it that way and say, well, look, this is just an opportunity to see Devon on the table, and the guy he's going against, he knows how to arm wrestle. He's good, but it's a squash match, but if you do that regularly, that interest in Devon would start to fade, because they're like, oh, it's just another. Yeah, we saw him like last week, or we saw him 2 weeks ago, or we saw him last month. It's like, I'll skip this one. You know what I mean? Sort of like, it's called oversaturation. Brian Shaw versus RBJ. I don't think RBJ has the following to justify a match with Brian Shaw. I'd like to see it, but yeah, they sold out the Vibs, and sold out the venue. They sold out the venue and had to add more tickets. That's great. Oh, the VIPs. Okay, great. Well, that's good. That's a good sign. 17 freaking matches. It's like knowing you're going to watch a 6-hour movie. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, that's it. But, well, as we were saying before, it is one of those things where people tend to, like with the UFC, they normally put a card on, there'll be 10 matches, but people don't turn up till like 4 matches to go because they don't care about the first 6. It feels sort of like that with East versus West. It's like those first 10 matches are like, yeah, I don't know who this is versus I don't know who this is. And especially if they're long drawn out setups and long restarts and fouls, and it can be like yeah, I think that's one of those things where they try to cram so much onto one card. I like the King of the Tables approach better, where they just have like 3 matches, and it's like they promote the crap out of 3 matches, and the show goes for about an hour, just an hour and a half, something like that. that's what we've been doing with AWE with Grand Prix tournaments. Our tournament was an 8-man double elimination, which we'll also be having this year, later on this year, with the Sarah Bachman versus Ashley Huerta card. So 8-man double elimination tournament, best guys that we can get in the Southern Hemisphere facing off. And the great thing about it is it runs for about an hour and 10, and you see the start and the whole conclusion of the tournament in that space of time. There's no gaps. It's like, okay, this guy won, he's progressing on against this guy. Now they're having a match. Now he's progressing against this guy. He's eliminated, and it's right there. The matches are constantly happening. It's one round, and you're moving forwards, progressing towards the grand final. And yeah, as opposed to having, say, 17 matches, which may all be first to 3, first to 4, and yeah, it can be quite painful to watch, especially if you're not interested in the pullers, if you're not invested, if you don't care about who they are. It's just like, come on, just get to the next one. Like, I don't care about this. And you're more than likely, like, a lot of the times I watch the events on replay because they play at like 2 a.m. for me. So I get up the next day and I buy it, but I have the ability to skip forwards, and I skip so much. Like, even in the events, even in the matches that I want to see, I'm still skipping like 5 seconds, while they're walking up to the table, skip, and it's like, all right, they're about to go. Okay, let it play. And then it's like, slip. Okay, skip. Like they're, playing the strap and getting all that sorted. And then it's like, you go too far and you're like, oh no. And then you saw who won the round. You're like, ah. But there's so much time in between. I think if you took the 17 matches and it was, let's say, 6 hours for 17 matches, how much of those 6 hours were actually arm wrestling, like actual matches? I think you'd probably get, but just around the 10-minute mark, maybe, which is not a lot. Brian Shaw versus Coach Ray. No. No. Coach Ray is a short guy. He's a small guy. No. You can't. It would be bad for Brian no matter what. If he wins, it looks like he's a bully. If he loses, it destroys his credibility instantly. Mr. Peanut says lack of connection with spectators is the promotion issue. Lack of statistics and easily accessible information means fans can only listen to random opinions with any facts to back up statements. It's true. Yeah, it's like I could say that Corey West is number 1 in North America, and everyone will believe me, even though maybe it's Cody Merritt. I don't know. I'm just going off of what somebody else said. I can't remember if that was exactly the information that they did say. But it is difficult, and I would love to see like a consensus ranking site, if there is one out there, that says, look, this is everyone in this country, this is what they're ranked, and it's official, and it gets updated regularly. Yeah. Roy says they sold out the VIPs and venues before Devon's match. I'm not sure why they added Devon, because also I think it was just Devon was coming anyway. So, I think there is some speculation that or they've done it because they weren't selling well, but I haven't seen any evidence of that. And East versus West isn't going to tell you what their numbers are. So that's probably just somebody's hypothetical theory as to, they had to add Devon because they weren't selling well. It's like, who told you that? Like, how do you know that? It's like, I don't. I'm just guessing. Okay. But I think he was going there anyway. And it's like, well, if he's going there anyway, it's the first event in North America. Let's just put him on the card. I think that's more of it. I think it was more of an opportunity thing, as opposed to we need to get him on to make money thing. Brian Shaw versus Magnus. Yeah, maybe. That wouldn't be too bad. Be better than Coach Ray. I wonder how many seats for the venue, says Captain Obvious. Tickets to attend are $50, I think. Make up some money there. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, ticket sales are an important aspect. The gate, they call it. How is the gate? Phone's ringing. I'll turn that off. A 6-hour fan experience is a poor business strategy. Yes. I know you guys are not into cricket at all, and I'm just going to very briefly run through this, but the cricket here in Australia is very popular, and the original game was the 5-day test match, and it was played literally over 5 days, and then they came out with a 1-day version, which was a lot more exciting and interesting, and the match was finished in 1 day. Imagine that. And then they shortened it even further, and they've brought it down to what's called 2020, which takes about 3 hours, and that's become the most popular form of the sport. What a surprise, making things easily consumable and having a conclusion in a short period of time seemed to work. So yes, there could be a case for that, and saying, look, you've got too many matches on. There's too many matches that people don't care about. Ideally, you would split it. You do similar to what the UFC does, and they say, look, we've got our preliminary matches, we've got our undercard matches, then we've got our main event matches, and your preliminary matches get streamed for free on Fight Pass TV or whatever, and then their undercard matches may be on, I don't know, a different network or something like that. But then the whole time throughout those matches, those preliminary matches, those undercard matches, they are pushing you to buy the pay-per-view the whole time. And, there's ads constantly. Buy the pay-per-view, buy the pay-per-view. It's coming up. This is the fight that's coming up on the pay-per-view, which is the top 4 fights. So yeah, it is a great opportunity to get people watching if they can watch for free, and then if they get interested and invested in the matches that are going to be upcoming, and it's just an ability to get them to purchase and to make more sales. So it's like, hey, we're live, we're going. You can see the event, it's running, but the match you want to see, that's going to be in 2 hours' time. And that's where you've got to pay your money to see it. So maybe they could do something like that, but it's up to them. I mean, it's their promotion. They do whatever they like. They pulled not long ago, and Cody beat him. Oh, there you go. It's Cody in the Hook rankings. In the Hook rankings? Why is there Hook rankings? Is there Flop Press rankings? I want to be on the Flop Press ranking, even though I can't do it, but yeah. Jump on a treadmill, grow your beard. Okay. To Crazy Uncle Jim. It's kind of deliberating. No, I think debilitating was the word. Debilitating for the US to not have Kazakhs, Russians, and Georgians because of visa difficulties. Yes. Not much we can do about that at this point in time. It is, they are at war. So yeah, the fact that we can get anybody traveling around the world at this point in time is always a good thing. Bryan versus Wagner. Yeah, maybe a fun match. I don't think Wagner has the following. I'm talking big following. Leonidas is the best suggestion so far that I've seen. Kudamara Arm Wrestling. G'day, Hollywood Matt Connolly. Hello to you. Great to see you in here. Thank you for your lovely message the other day. And yes, hope your training and everything is going fantastically well for you guys up in Queensland and Australia. $50 seems pretty reasonable. I think so too. They probably have different price points. That may be the general admission price. Visa problems, that's why I always use American Express. Yes, very, very good, Mr. Peanut. Very good. Dominic Lorenz, hello to you, sir. Great to see you in here. And yes, great to see you at the AWE Grand Prix. We were just talking about that. Roy says, Captain Obvious, I heard it is slightly more than 1,000 tickets sold at the venue, so they had to add more because of demand. How many? 1,000. 1,000 times 50. So 50 grand in ticket sales. That's fantastic. There's probably VIP, different price points, so maybe 70 to 80 grand in tickets. Wow, 1,000. This crowd be rocking. Dad Bod Magazine, man, I am so far behind you guys. PR Peanut. That's great. I haven't seen what the venue looks like. Let me try to skip down a little bit because I'm way behind you guys. Dominic asks, are any SA Titans arm wrestling clubs going to the Queensland titles? I don't believe so. Yeah, it's I think it's a little bit of an expensive trip to go. Yeah, we'll be running an event later in the year here in Adelaide that people will be able to compete in, but yes, Queensland has 7 clubs at the moment. I think they're doing tremendously well, and they've got some incredible pullers. So you'll see some fantastic arm wrestling at that titles. Brian Shaw versus Eddie Hall. Yeah, well, I think they were going to do that. I remember seeing, was it Eddie training with Neil Pickup, and Neil was showing him how different techniques work and that sort of thing, because but this is prior to their boxing match, that they were going to have an arm wrestling match. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I believe that they were going to be doing. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but Eddie, this is, I think it needs to be an actual arm wrestler. I still think Leonidas is the best suggestion so far, but open for more. Go! Matt Connolly style is hilarious. Yeah, that's it. Well, the funny thing is, we had the original style of saying ready, go. And people would go on ready. Like you'd go, and they'd go. And so it was kind of silly to say that ready, go. And then it just became ready, go. It was like, that's 2 words, but you're saying it as one. Why even have the ready? There's no point having ready and then go, but it's the same word. Ready, go. So we're like, screw that. We're just going to drop the ready. And so it just became go. And yes, I like to say it very loud so that the competitors definitely know when a match has started. There is no question about, has the match started? It's very much a go. But when I cut one of our videos together from one of the tournaments, Ryan said, look, just cut the matches so that it's a really fast-paced video, and there's no setups, there's no nothing. It's just literally from the go, and then the next match. And I didn't realize, but once I'd cut it all together and then I played it and my kids came in, I was like, oh, I just finished this video, you want to have a look? And it was like, go, 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 go. Which I thought was hilarious. So anyway, but yeah, that has become a bit of a thing at this point in time. Larry Wheels, yeah, that would be good actually. That's probably a very, very good suggestion. I know Larry hasn't been arm wrestling recently, but that's probably a pretty good. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think that would work. I think that's probably the number one. You've overtaken Leonidas with that suggestion. Well done. Just say chance is related to Brian Shaw. That would work. Rivas versus Shaw. Rivas. I mean, the match is good. You got to think of it as a promotion. You got to think of it as, I need as many people to be interested in seeing this as possible. That's what his promotion people who are going to be setting up a match are thinking like. They're not thinking, let's get a really good arm wrestler. They're thinking, who's going to get us the most attention? All right. Eddie is not into it, but if he did get into arm wrestling and started training, it would be a good match. It would, yeah, absolutely. He's one hell of a strong man, Eddie Hall, and very entertaining, very charismatic, very funny guy. There's a great video of him on YouTube getting a free first class flight. I think it was Emirates or something like that. And obviously, they've done it because he's going to film it and release it out to all of his followers. But yeah, you get to sort of see what it would be like to be in like ultra first class on those like massive planes that they have, and he had his own room on the plane. It wasn't like a seat; he had his own room. In the room, there was a gym. Like it was just cables off the wall, but still, there was a shower. There was like 2 proper beds. He had his own waiter. Yeah, and pre-flight, there was a guy who came out and made food for him, and it was like, wow. But I think it was $20,000 was the value of the flight. If you got the money, why not? Rivas right now would eat Shaw's arm for breakfast. Yes. Khaled the Great, I heard he's arm wrestling now too. Yeah, okay. Well, I haven't heard that, but I haven't heard from Khaled for quite a while. Batman versus Spider-Man. Enough with the hypothetical match. Stupidity. Is it Batman with prep time, though? Because Spider-Man would probably have the strength advantage. I've seen a lot of videos pop up on YouTube of Spider-Man stops holding back. He's finally unleashes his real strength. And it's like, oh, he's been holding back this whole time. So, yeah, having the super genetics of Spider-Man superpowers, he would have a massive advantage. Although, if it's Batman with prep time, he can do anything. Shaw needs to compete against someone that is not in the top 10 right now. I fight he can win. I agree. Rampage Jackson versus Brian Shaw. You're heading in the right direction, but you need somebody with arm wrestling ability. I think that Larry Wheels is probably the best suggestion so far. If the sales in the US are bad, that is pretty concerning. Yeah, as I've said, that's just a hypothetical that people have come up as to maybe a reason as to why they've put Devin on the card, but we haven't got any official word of that whatsoever. Shaw should go after WAF arm wrestlers first and eat all of them. I'm tapping out. I'm going to watch Zach Baggins Ghost Adventures. All right. Enjoy. Never heard of it. It's obviously more entertaining than me. That's fine. Levan said recently that Shaw should pull him first. God. Because if Shaw loses his first match, the Levan match, it's not going to happen. He's not. He's not going to pull against Levan in his first match. That would just be stupid. That's where you lose all your value. If he does well and he can build up to you, and it would sell 10 times as much as just putting him in against you now. Is Devin a top or bottom arm wrestler? Okay. I see him pull on top of the table, and under it, a lot of his matches, he backs up. Okay. There might be some innuendo going on in your comment there, but yeah, well, we've seen Devin develop a King's move in recent years, and he has employed that. It seems to be when he feels that he's going against somebody who knows is just much, much stronger than him, that he can't dominate in the setup, he will rely on his King's move. Although you haven't seen it as much recently, but he did do that with Levan, and it did hold for a few seconds in that first round with Levan. But yeah, it does have its limitations, obviously, and Levan was able to combat that and get over the top of Devin's hand and press it. Bin Ladder says, Bin Ladder. That's good, I like that. Need regional representation, people. Back the no-name guy from their place. Absolutely. Yes, that is the patriotism tribe mentality that you can tap into if you are a clever promoter. And it's like Australia versus America. You don't know who this guy is or that guy, but he's from Australia and he's from America, so you're going to go for him and you're going for them, and it is quite amusing, really. RBJ would be okay as a referee for Sean's. Would he? Okay, I've never seen him referee before, but I guess we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I don't know. When am I pulling on Knuckles Up? Maybe if I get to the level where I would be good enough to compete on the show, which I don't think would ever happen. I would be pushing many other people forwards in front of me and saying, these guys are way better, and they deserve the opportunity, and I'll help you promote them, and I'll help promote them as well, because I would rather do that than take a spot when I know I don't deserve it. John Boy says, I want to see more AWE matches. Who's Rickard facing next? He's got several things lined up for this year. We can't let you know just yet. But we have got confirmation he's booked in. You will see a lot of him before the year is out, as well as more AWE. We have Ashley Howetta, who is the world's strongest female bench presser ever, 317 kilos, 700 pounds bench press. And she is also a WAF world champion on left arm, right arm, left arm, I think. She's going to be going against the most decorated female arm wrestler of all time in Sarah Barkman. So that will be taking place here in Adelaide in October. He's going to reinvent Arm Wars in about 2 minutes. There you go. I'm just giving you my opinion as a promoter. As that's the skill set that I bring. When we look at who's in AWE, we've got Dave Stockbridge, we've got Ryan Bowen, and we've got Hollywood Matt Connolly. Ryan is obviously very, very established in the arm wrestling world, has a massive following and very knowledgeable, and has great network connections throughout the arm wrestling world. Then my skill set is knowledge of production and what sells and how to potentially market things in a way that people will be interested in them. Or basically, a huge fan of the UFC. You'll hear me talking about UFC all the time, and the reason for that is I saw their growth from where they started to becoming $1 billion company, several $1 billion company. And I saw what they did, and I took notice and very keen interest in how they developed their company and their promotional strategies. And it wasn't for any particular reason. I wasn't doing that from, I'm going to use this skill set. It was just purely from my own personal interest, and seeing those tactics, and then understanding why people would do certain things, why they would push this match over this match, or have that, or go here, or do this, or the way that they put a trailer together. Those things are deeply embedded in what I do. And so you hear me talk about that a lot. Edit all the actual pulling down, and it's 7 minutes. Yeah, well, that's what we were saying before. I think it was about 10, but yeah, it is a long, drawn out event sometimes. Brian versus Derek Smith. Derek is a big guy. Doesn't have a big following. He needs a big following. Brian versus Coach Ray and Hunter on his shoulders. That'd be good. I would like to see that. That'd be fun. To keep fans engaged in all 17 matches, a team-style gambling format needs to be developed. Give fans to be invested in every match, trifecta betting, and time clock for betting under and over. Well, betting does get people interested in things. Sometimes I've put $5 on a match if I didn't know either person, just to get myself interested in watching it and hoping my person was going to win. It definitely has a advantage of getting people invested. You get them to put their money into it. Even as $1, you put $1 on, people will be glued to the screen. ELO rankings are the only statistical-based facts available for arm sports. Everything else is rambling, unsupported opinions. Yes, the ELO rankings does have its downside as well. I guess there is no perfect format, but here they run with the ELO rankings here in the Australian version of WAF, and it doesn't work that well. I lost my first 4 matches, so it was 0 wins, 4 losses, and I was ranked above Taryn Broad in my club, who had won all of his matches, but he was in a lighter weight class. So they take the weight into consideration, but it was like, Taryn obviously destroys me regardless, but it's like that. How am I ranked above you? I literally haven't won a match, and you've won every match, but you're beneath me. That makes no sense. And I know over time, like over a 10,000 match period or whatever, it really does sit together and come out nicely, and it works well. But when you've got infrequent matches and people moving between weight classes and different formats, whether it's a tournament, whether it's a super match, I think Elo can struggle. Brian Shaw versus Rickard Damoa Bornman. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be good. Awesome. I don't think Rickard is at the popularity level you're going to have to top Larry Wheels, I think, at this point. That's my number one. I thought Derek Smith would be there, at least commentate, if not pull the event coming up on the weekend. I'm not sure. Is he not going? Orlando, Florida. He's in California, so it is the complete other side of the country for Derek. Maybe that's the issue there. And being able to get time off work and everything else, especially if you're constantly going to your boss. I've got to go over to Turkey for a week. They're like, what? Yeah, I got arm wrestling thing. Oh, okay, all right, fine. You can use your holidays to do. Yeah, I've got to go back to Russia for something. Like, it's just, if you're constantly asking for time off, it can be detrimental to your employment. So maybe that's a factor. I don't know. I know that Derek does security work, which a lot of it is weekend stuff. So maybe he, if you're going to take the weekend off, you're going to lose that money, and it's going to cost you the money to go to the event. If he is or isn't going, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. Wonder what Brian Shaw's nickname is going to be. Well, you would think he would have had a nickname by this point. I mean, World's Strongest Man. He's been in the media. He's been around for many years. He probably would have had a nickname at this point. The Bear, it just comes to mind instantly. So to me, like, I would just be like, that guy's a bear. Like, he just looks like a black bear, like a giant monster of a man. Rickard, the ride-on lawnmower in that case. So there we go. Eric and Raphael in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles said, all that needs to be said about cricket. Yeah, well, there you go. He hit Casey Jones for a 6 with his cricket bat. No, Casey Jones hit him with a 6 for a 6. Cricket, no one cares about cricket. That's what Raphael says. Big fan of the Ninja Turtles when I was growing up. Right, Luca, then just add a kick-ass soundtrack. Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to catch up to where you guys are at. Top 4, it would be the World's Strongest Man, Brian Shaw. That's probably a pretty good nickname. As far as East versus West, the best format seemed to be at East versus West 10, when they had 10 matches. But on the other hand, all these abundance of matches is creating a very deep pool of pullers. Yeah, there's a double-edged sword with it, isn't there? Because you think, okay, yeah, more matches, great, more arm wrestling, awesome. That's what we want to see. We want to see as much arm wrestling as we can possibly see, until you're like 12 matches in and it's been 5 hours and you started the card at 1 a.m. and now it's like 6 and the sun's coming up and you're like, I'm so tired. I just want to see the matches that I actually wanted to see. But yes, if you can condense it down and make it, I think it makes it more impactful. If you've got less matches, you've got more ability to promote those individual matches. Here we go, I'm talking about promoting and stuff again. But if you've, like with King of the Table, right? You've got 3 matches. You can promote those 3 matches to death, and everybody that is like, oh, you're King of the Table, they'll know what matches are on the card. There's only 3. There's only 3 you got to remember. And when you see the card, you just see those 3 matches, and it's done in an hour and a half or whatever, 2 hours. And that's it. The event is concluded. You didn't have to remember. I mean, 17 matches. I can barely remember like 5 of the ones that are on this card without having to go to the list. So yeah, and a lot of those, I would just be like, no, I'm not putting that. Like, we got 17. We got to cut at least 8 of those. I'd be like, instantly get rid of at least 8 or 9, probably 10 of those matches, because Yeah, put them on another card or put it on a different thing that isn't a pay-per-view, because those ones, people aren't going to pay for those, or they're not here to see those matches. You're just throwing them on. Brian, the God of Grip Shaw, maybe. Addy Purdy one. Destroyer of buffets. 12 gallons per flush. Oh, we're going into the comedy era here. Skip navigation search. Oh, what's all this? Great Khali. Oh, if you put a link to a video or something, I don't know, that's how it comes up on my screen. I have no idea what that is. If you've put a picture. Mr. Peanut. Brian the Keg Shaw. Destroyer Buffet. The Breaker of Toilets. The Great Khali has 11 million followers on Instagram. That's amazing. I can tell you why. Apart from his obvious success in WWE, he is Indian, and there is over 1 billion people in India, and he would be very much a popular figure over there. And yes, most of my followers, most of my people, most of my subscribers, my viewers, everyone is Indian. They are a huge audience in arm wrestling, massive. If you stacked the next 30 countries and compared it to India, India would dwarf them, like in terms of viewership. They are so, I mean, millions and millions of people watching their events, and not exaggerating. Yeah, the last Pro Panja, Panja in Hindi means arm wrestling, so Pro Panja, Pro Arm Wrestling event, which they put on in India last year. The main event had 34 million people watch. 34 million. The entire country of Australia has 25 million people. So that's almost 10 million more than my entire country watching that event, which is insane to think. The Keganator. Sounded like a gold miner when you yelled go. Oh, there you go. Gold miner. That's good. Shaw was good at the keg toss. I think he held or holds the record in it. Did he drink the keg before throwing it, though? That's the secret. Promotion-wise, the Great Khali has the there you go. There you go. So exactly what I just said. Great Khali has the Indian audience, which is huge. Probably the best promotional material. There you go. Thank you for agreeing with my point. Captain Obvious. Italia is the obvious first of all, obviously, definitely. How could we even have forgotten? He has the experience pulling giants like Rondon. Italia needs to be involved somehow. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Remember, you can cheat a go, but you can't cheat a ho. Change to ready ho. Very nice. I wouldn't want the Brian Shaw Great Khali match to happen unless I had a plan on how to gain control of the market share it creates. If it was in India, I mean, my God. Outrageously amount of people that would want to be seeing that. That Icelandic strongman beat arm wrestlers cold start. Which one was that? John Paul? Okay. Not sure. Watch face motions to cheat jump the start. Watching you say go. Watch your face in a mirror and see how your lips move as you prepare to make a G sound, completely giving away the start. Yeah, usually my starts are fairly obvious that it's when it's coming. And if I get both guys in a position, I'm talking to them the whole time, and I've got my hands on either their wrists or, just above, just beneath the bottom of their hand. And I'm sort of explaining, I need you to turn a little bit this way, come around this way. Yep, okay. And then I'll say, don't move. Like, don't move from there. And I'll wait for a second. And I'll see if there's any movement or carving or anything like that. Then I will say go. And so then it's the same every time. Like, I'll get them settled and I'll say, don't move. And if they move, obviously, look, I've said, usually it's a warning depending on the circumstances or whatever. You cannot move if it's a ref's grip. If it's their own grip, they can take whatever grip they want. But I will still say don't move and wait for them to settle, wait for them to stop. And then it will be a go a second later. And that's every single time. So it shouldn't have to be too tricky about, whether or not I'm going to say it. I'm not trying to trick people and be like, oh, I'm going to wait 3 seconds and then I'll say it. It's like, no, I try to keep it as consistent as possible. RJ would be the first ref to be kicked out of the match. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Jody Williams, Chocolate Thunder says, hey, great to see you in here. Jody Williams, always a pleasure to see you, sir. Yes, we had you on the podcast the other week, and a real treat for me to be able to chat with you. He's just stopping by. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Great to see you, my friend. Mr. Peanut says, I start matches just like we did in the army. Bark commands from the diaphragm, protect vocals, increase volume, and never move lips. Never move lips to give away start. Ready, RTD, rare, RTD infantry, ready, ho, RTD. Ready to, I don't know what RTD stands for. Rotund, I don't know. Anyway, how do you do it without moving your lips? Which is this go. I feel like, was that go or was that you coughing? No, that was me coughing. Oh, go. I'm saying hello to Jody as he deserves. Neil's index finger. Great to see you in here, Brian. Should really compete in a few events before a super match. I think the factor of interest is going to be on his first match, and if he goes into like a tournament or an amateur tournament or something, he has the potential to lose the interest, especially if he gets beaten. It was almost like when Larry Wheels came out to Australia for the Over the Top tournament that we had, and I know everyone was just like, please just make it to the top 8, Larry. Like, just make it to the top 8. And then he lost against Mario Tambakis. It was double elimination, so he was in the losers bracket. And it was like, come on, Larry, you've got to make it to the final 8 at least, so that we get some attention in that final 8. That's the thing that everyone's going to be here to watch. And if you're not in it, it's going to be money not well spent. But he did make it in. He did get to the the final 8 and was eliminated by Ryan Bowen. But he made it. But if he hadn't made it, it would have been terrible. I think Brezink breaking Shaw in would be a pretty good too. Yeah. I think Larry Wheels is the man for me at this point in time. Who's the well-to-do dude with giant hands? Brian could retire him for his first match. Jeff Dabe. Yeah, Jeff, I haven't seen him compete for quite a while. I know he has enormous forearms. Yeah, not sure. Haven't seen him for a long time. Oh, God, I'm trying to figure out how to say your name. Coers. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. Do you think Levan would try to hurt Sean? No, Levan's a nice guy. He wouldn't do that. And what a terrible thing that would be if he did. How bad would he look to the world if he hurt somebody deliberately in a match when he didn't need to, especially a beginner in his first match. And Brian says, hey, Matt, I got to catch the live just after work. Oh, great to see you in here. Through the Fingers podcast. It's a fantastic podcast with Dakota Shipton and Brian Parliament. These guys do a fantastic job, and they talk all things North American arm wrestling, whereas they're very much in on that. I believe that they have like Alberta versus somebody. They've got a tournament or a match or a super match, like their club versus another club coming up soon, which I'm very interested to see. Levan needs to get the end game goal for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Definitely agree with that. It's close to 2 billion. Wow. 1.8. Wow. The last time I looked, it was 1.4. And that was last year. That's absolutely insane. Brian Shaw versus David Goggins. Who's going to row the boats? Well, David Goggins was at the UFC, one of the most recent UFCs. He was training a guy called Tony Ferguson, but unfortunately Tony wasn't able to get the victory, but it was fun to see David there. 1 billion people in India and you can't sell a pay-per-view in India. Yeah, it was $2. It was $2. That was so weird. Yeah. Do they buy pay-per-view? We found out afterwards. No, they don't. We spoke to Pradeep and we were like, why isn't anyone buying it from India? And he's like, we don't do that. Like, no one here does that. Most people don't have credit cards to be able to buy stuff online. Like, or if they did, it's just not in their culture. Like, they just would not do that. So that, yeah, it's like, okay, well, I guess we found that out. No, they do not buy a pay-per-view. Yeah, there you go. The Welsh Wolverine, Dean Bolt, is here. How? He says hello to the Welsh Wolverine, Dean Bolt. Do you have a match coming up? I know that you had your most recent match with James Stewart. What is on the card for you in the future, Mr. Bolt? Love to see it. I think I'm getting closer to the bottom of the comments here. All content gets recycled to free on the internet. Eventually, stop delaying the inevitable. Felt like what was it? The Team America with Kim Jong Un or whatever. It's like it would be inevitable. Matt, which high-level international puller can the new young Australian beat, in your opinion? New young Australian. If you're referring to Rickard Bornman, he is from South Africa, but he's currently living in Australia. But if you are referring to him, you will see who we have things lined up for with Rickard. Can't quite say yet, but you will find out soon, and it will be a lot of fun. You'll be very excited. Oh, RTD is retired. Okay, thank you. His biceps blew off. I'm trying to remember what that could be referring to. I don't know. All these old Soviet satellite states have the arm wrestling mutants from childhood training. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they start them very early in that part of the world, and that is why they are so dominant and so efficient when they get on the table. They've been doing it since they were children. Montana. Oh, great. Okay, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to that. When is that happening? I know it's coming up. Zach is part of the podcast too. Zach, of course. Yes, of course. And will all three of you be pulling at the event in Montana? India finally surpassed China's population. Congrats? ? Yeah, is that a good thing? Probably not. Major issues that come with overpopulation. One of the things that sort of tried mentally, like I refer to, is the size of America and the size of Australia are very similar for the mainland. And I know there's like over 300 million people in America. It's like, what is it, 330 or something like that, versus 25 million in Australia. And, when I'm thinking like how many people are there compared to here, it's more than 10 times the amount. And just thinking like, what would the city be like? What would traffic be like to have that many people? I guess it's more populated throughout the entire country though, whereas in Australia, it's 98% of people live on the coast. The middle is all pretty much desert. So, yeah, it's probably a different layout of spread of people. They're probably more in the center than it is here. $1 in India is like $50 here. No, it isn't. It's not. Well, actually, in US dollars, it might be. Let's have a look. Let's find out. Let me bring it up. Where's my thing? Where's my share screen thing? Stop sharing screen. Replace the screen. No, I want to see the screen. Where's it gone? Oh, okay. Oh, you can hide yourself. That's handy. Let me just hide myself so no one can see me. Okay, let's do that. We'll do this. Do this. We'll do this. How's that? There we go. We got something. All right. So let's go. Indian rupee to USD. All right. So 1 rupee is worth 0.1 of a cent. It's worth 1 cent. That can't be right. That's absolutely insane. So $1 in India, $1. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's worth 1 cent. That's outrageous. So if we set our pay-per-view at $2, it's 167 rupees. But it is relative because when I was there in India, like 167 rupees is nothing. Like that wouldn't get you anything. It's quite funny though. Oh, still got that tab up. I love it when they change things on you as you load into the stream. It's like, oh, by the way, we've changed your entire setup. All the buttons are in different spots, and there's all these new things which you won't use, but they're there, and we're gonna do a tutorial and everything. I don't want the tutorial. I need to stream. I'm like, anyway. Now say ready, sing it out loud, and then a burst of air from the diaphragm. Ready, ho! You can do this without moving lips. Timing is so even. Hundreds of troops can hear commands move at the same time. It is an impressive thing to see, absolutely. If one person in India buys a pay-per-view, they move their TV into the streets, so the whole neighborhood can watch. Yeah, that's probably how it works. Yes, him. Okay, great. I think I found out how Rickard is facing, but I forgot. You think you found out who Rickard is facing, but you forgot. Well, would have been a leak if you did, because we haven't told anybody. And August 17th at the Armageddon event, that is when you will see Brian, Zach, and Dakota. Hopefully all 3 of them are going to be pulling on that card, but that'll be a lot of fun. Let me know when it's coming up, and that's next weekend basically. So hopefully there's a stream. I'll definitely watch. The Drew, give us a hint. No, you better not, Drew. If you do know, and I don't think you do. The 3 of us all have matches. It will be crazy. Oh, fantastic. That'll be great. Can't wait. I did. It must be in the stars. 1,000 rupees equals $1. I don't know. It's a lot. It's 1 cent. 1 rupee is worth 1 cent. Crazy. While you were in India, oh great, I've caught up. Here we go. While you were in India, did you see those street food vendors sitting in the dirt that cleans their feet in the food and then serve it to you with extra flies? Did you see any of that? No, I didn't. I didn't see any of that. I think that those viral videos that you see are pretty extreme circumstances, maybe in like a fairly remote area where, yeah. But I was very worried about getting sick over there. So was Ryan. I barely ate anything while I was there. I was so not wanting to get food poisoning. I've had food poisoning before, and it's absolutely horrendous. So the only place I ate was at the hotel, pretty much, and it was like a buffet thing. And even then, I still was very, very careful about what I had. Yeah, so I almost got caught out. We did go to a mall, like a shopping mall, and they had a food court there, and I think it was KFC or something like that. It was, I don't know, Burger King or something, and I was just about to take a sip of my drink, and Ryan's like, "Wait, stop! You can't have that. You can't drink that." I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "It's got ice in it." I'm like, "Oh, right." Jeez. I almost drank it. So the ice, the water is the issue. Like if you drink the water that's there, our bodies are not used to it, and you get sick very, very easily. So yeah, I almost got caught out, but Ryan did at the end. He got sick when he got back to Australia. Even though we were very careful, but yeah, it is a concern, that's for sure. Oops. The average income in India is $382 a month. Well, there you go. Thanks for shutting us out. When is your next match? I haven't got anything scheduled at this point in time. Yeah, we've got our event. We'll be running in October for AWE. There we go. Yeah, in terms of where I'm pushing for matches or anything like that, I'm not pushing for anything at this point in time. In my own club, it's kind of, I'm in a little bit of a tricky position because the top guys, which is Taran Broad, Hamza, Hodzic, I can't get anywhere near them. They're leaps and bounds above me. And there's a couple of other guys that are sort of sitting around that level as well, that are beyond me, well beyond me. But then I'm sort of sitting in an area by myself, and then beneath me, the people beneath me, I can handle comfortably. So I'm sort of like, I can't beat these guys, but I can comfortably handle these guys. So to take a match is very difficult, because it's like you're either going to lose or you're going to win, and it's not a big question. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Rickard Bondman versus Joe Rogan. Yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen. Yeah, for sure. You can tell everyone it's an exclusive right here. Joe Rogan is also going against Coach Ray, apparently, and they stay mic'd up for the podcast during the match. Yeah, that's right. I wore the microphone. I was doing commentary in Ireland for Arm Gods with Dean Bolt, and I was also pulling in the tournament. So I was commentating the tournament, but I was also competing in the tournament. And I kept the microphone on when I went up to the table, and I was like, I'll have to be conscious that I don't yell into the microphone, because, then you just get that real sound, like it just blows out everybody's sound who's watching. And I completely forgot about it. Instantly. As soon as the match started, I'm like, So yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched the replay of that, but I'm sure they got that a few times. I think I had 6 matches, and I did it every time. He says, I mean, to be honest, Indian food is amazing. I love it. It's just those viral street food videos. Oh yeah, they're horrendous, disgusting. People, cooking, cleaning chickens with their feet, and just like, ugh, yeah. But no, I didn't actually see any of that. It was from a podcast the other day. I think someone unintentionally gave away too much info that made me go, well, if you can't remember who it is, then that's probably a good thing. Got to hit up the sidewalk. Your wax cleaner. There's no sidewalk. There's no footpaths. There's no footpaths anywhere. It's dirt roads. Yeah, but occasionally there's bitumen. But there's no like sidewalk or footpath anywhere in Delhi anyway. I always have a TM Life Straw in my camping gear. Okay. I don't know what that is. It wasn't bad. All right, well, that's great. I don't know what that is, mate. Big Daddy versus Alex. Possibly. It'd be interesting. I'd love to see it. Hot mics on the table are legit. Yes, absolutely. But it does help, actually, I think, especially from the audience's perspective, to have an understanding as to what the referee is instructing the competitors to do and what their issue is, because you'll hear them arguing or complaining or being instructed, turn your shoulders in, don't move your shoulder, here's a foul because you moved your shoulder or your elbow or whatever. It is invaluable to have that information, because otherwise the commentator, who may not know what's happening, is trying to paint a picture, but they don't need to do that if you've got the microphone there. It's just you have to be sort of careful about who you put the mics on, and maybe instructing them, watch your language and watch what you say, because everyone can hear what you say. Because we did see that at, what was it, the who did James English and Auden Larratt, what event did they go on? But anyway, there was that, and there was a couple of other matches where, yeah, if you're watching that event, I mean, as an adult, I don't care. It's like, swear, that's how people act. That's how they're on the table. They're going to talk trash. They're going to swear. So I get it. But from a promoter's perspective, if you're trying to get like a big deal with a network or something like that, and they see that, they'll be like, there is no way we're ever putting you on. Like, you cannot have people talking like that on, this in mainstream stuff. So yeah, as I said, when I was reviewing that event, I think that they literally, like, if you had that event on, let's say, ESPN, every time someone swears, it's like a huge fine. It's like a $20,000 fine to the network, and they'll be passing that on to you. So yeah, it is difficult. You just have to be very, very clear to your competitors. Watch what you say. It's like, you can talk trash, you can complain, you can be yourself, but if you say certain words, it's a massive fine. So yeah. Anyway, I got Cataret. Have you? For this event coming up on this weekend. Yeah, that'll be an exciting match, Cataret and Kadecha. Very excited. Oh, that's what you're asking me about. Yeah, it's I'm very excited to see it. I think Alex will win it. I'm going to go against you there, Sylvester. I think he has the exact tools and build and structure and height, leverage and power to be able to combat Jerry's number one weapon. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Jerry is an elite arm wrestler for a reason. And if he's good enough to get into his spot, he is almost impossible to stop. Yes, sorry, I didn't catch on when you said Big Daddy. Now I remember, and if you want, you guys can go through like 20 live stream podcasts, only like 40 hours worth for that 10 seconds. Do you remember now, do you? Well, I hope that they got it wrong and you're remembering wrong. Who is winning at Knuckles Up? The Shark or Deep Blue? Yes, well, that's one of the interesting matches that is coming up. Let me bring this back up here. And that there. So Knuckles Up. Let's have a look at Knuckles Up. All right. And where's their website? Where's their website? High Five. That's the one. All right. And is that it? I don't think that's it. I think this is not their website. Or maybe it is. I don't know. This is not the one I was expecting to see. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, okay. Where's the bit that says what matches you've got on? Events. Okay. No, that's all right. Well, anyway, that was a waste of time. Sorry. If we could see, there's Ryan Bowen there, and there's Sharkovich there. Oh, you can't even see what I'm looking at. Oh, I brought it up on a different page. Oh no. Well, that was well done. That was well done there. Sorry, the page that I brought up wasn't what I wanted. But anyway, Ryan Bowen versus Andrei Sharkovich and Knuckles Up 4. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting match. I think that the consensus favorite is Sharkovich. Brian is battling an injury. His shoulder side pressure he's struggling a little bit with that. But he feels that he has lanes and strategies and methods to be able to get the win. He wouldn't have taken the match if he was just going to get absolutely trounced. So he is one of those guys that has the ability to win when all odds are against him and shock the world. And I think that that's probably the position he is in at this point in time. Shykovich is on a tear at the moment, and he's probably not a heavy favorite, but I'd say he is definitely the favorite in this match. Wish granted, you'll see it Saturday. Is circumcision a swear where you live, or a hospital operation? That's not a swear word. Do they? I've never heard of circumcision as a swear word. No, F and S and C are pretty much the ones that'll get you. Everything else is, Woods, it's your fault because you missed the show. Talia seduced her. The show got taken down. Shell's a menace. Well, I highlighted one accidentally. Shell, the oldest surviving couple. Did I miss something? What are you guys talking about here? Which show got taken down? The show got taken down. Which one? Which show? I bet he brings a ruler to the dance club. All right. I might wrap things up here, guys. Let's give it another 2 minutes and we'll get things happening for the rest of the day. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it is quite late over in the US. So it looks like 11:37 according to my American clock that I set the time for. This is, I think, New York time though. So yes, we'll go for another couple of minutes and we'll maybe answer a couple more questions and then we'll finish things up there. But I love having the ability to talk to all these people, wonderful people, about arm wrestling. Friday night. Oh, right. The one with MG. Yeah. 98%. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she gone. I think she was pretty hammered at that point. And yeah, it was I left actually because of that. I think that things were heading in the direction that I didn't want to be part of, and I was like, I need to get out of here. And from what I saw later, somebody sent me a screen recording of what happened later on that podcast, and I was like, I'm glad I left. Sent me an email, Drew. Okay, I'll check it out. I can do that right now, actually. The Drew. It hasn't come up on my screen yet, but that's okay. We'll get there. Yeah, I did one with Paul Maiden the other day, and I can't seem to see that either. Somebody sent me a message and said, I can't find this podcast that you're on Monday night, and I can't find it either. It's not on the Arm Gods channel, so maybe Paul has to change it to from private to public. That seems to happen on, if I stream something with my phone, it automatically, like when you finish the stream, it automatically changes it to private for some reason. It's so annoying. Well, better not read that out loud. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't think you've got it, mate. I think you're on a track, but I don't think that's the right one. Popping up while she was flat on her back. Yeah. Yes, not a good moment in arm wrestling streaming. She was wrecked. You got out in time. Yeah, I think I did. Overpowered that string shoulder tom. He deleted okay. Is that which one? He deleted it. Wasn't happy with it. Ah, it's disappointing. Why did he delete it? Maybe there was YouTube backlash or something. You know how YouTube gets the strikes, and you've got to prove this section as to why this happened, or I don't know. It's very frustrating. Default for live streaming is set to private if you didn't change it. Yeah, okay. It seems to be on my phone that it does that. I'll have to change it on my phone, but it's okay on the PC. But yeah, I don't know why you deleted it. That's weird. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was fun. We had a good chat. There we go. All right, guys. Well, I might wrap this up here and say thank you again for popping in and talking arm wrestling with me. It's always a great privilege for me to be able to talk about this sport with amazing people like yourselves. So I appreciate it enormously. And here is a double bicep just for you. Oh!